Tonight on KGW News, March Madness hits Portland with thousands of fans streaming into the city. The local athletes to keep an eye on as the big dance begins.
Plus, the masks are off, COVID cases are down, but will it last?
I'm in a state of cautious optimism.
What local health leaders say about the new subvariant spreading in parts of the world.
But first, the exceptional efforts of a Portland man helping refugees flee a war zone.
That there's a lot of people stuck on the other side of the border. There's about 1,000 people in line.
Your news starts now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko, and we begin with 3 million Ukrainian refugees and counting. And the Oregonian you just heard from, driven, he says, to help on the Polish border, just a small part of an enormous grassroots effort.
And at the same time, here at home, people are raising money for clean clothing, food, and to help bring people to safety. Catherine Cook shows us how.
Red, white, yellow, blue, and brew. At Threshold Brewing and Blending in Southeast Portland, people lined up, eager to raise money for Ukrainian refugees crossing into Poland. The brewery's owner is Polish. So is Ivana Erb.
Donate, donate, donate.
She organized the fundraiser.
It's very emotional for me to even think, because for centuries actually Poland was the Ukraine before. All the battles, all the wars were always in Poland.
This is the Ukrainian-Polish connection.
From George Jankowski, who came to the U.S. from Poland 40 years ago.
Anything I can chip in.
To Sheila Lipschutz, whose grandmother was born in Kyiv. They're all here to do something, anything, to help.
We may not all be able to go there and, lend humanitarian boots on the ground, but from our corner of the world we can do and we can show that what's in our heart and support people as best as we can.
So we're on our way to the Polish border.
And then there are the few who can put boots on the ground.
I would say emotionally it's been challenging.
For the last week, Hunter Baldridge, who grew up in Portland, has been in Krakow, driving refugees across the Ukrainian border in a rental car. He's a graduate student in Spain and felt compelled to help. So far, he's taken about 30 people to safety.
Tomorrow morning we're going to get up and we try and do about 3 runs.
Each round trip is 5 hours.
2 nights ago, we transported a mom with her 2-month-old baby, her 5-year-old daughter, and she had a heavy bag with her and she was by herself. The things that they've gone through, the things that they've seen are things that I can't even begin to fathom.
Hunter says most people helping along the border are volunteers from around the world. He wants more people to know what's happening here.
You see on the news that you think that the world's in solidarity with this, and many countries have spoken out against it, the situation, but on the ground, there's a lack of services, and there is a serious need for actual serious disaster response here, because this is a disaster.
Back in Southeast Portland, donations continue to roll in. The pride in these flags and compassion in these hearts, uniting from a world away.
We love it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Fundraising efforts will go on long after folks here go home tonight, but you can see donation information is available anytime. We'll post it on KGW.com so you can check it out and share with your friends. In Southeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Our thanks to Hunter and everybody else helping how they can. Meanwhile, fundraising efforts are also underway in Vancouver to help a family that's feeding thousands of people inside Ukraine. Ivan Sobovi, who's lived here for 2 decades, he started a fundraiser for his uncle Andriy, who works as a baker in Ukraine. Now, with the help of money raised here, Andriy and a team of volunteers have been baking bread and making soup and getting it out to thousands of people who just need to eat, all while living very close to the sounds of shelling and gunfire.
Front line is 10 kilometers from us, so it's very close. When we're sitting at home, our windows are shaken from explosions. But like 10-15 kilometers from here, some villages are flattened completely.
Andriy says he's also stockpiling supplies should things turn even worse. So far, from efforts here in Vancouver, they've raised over $100,000. $100,000. Okay, let's bring you up to speed on what's happening on the ground. Number one, Russian forces continue to fire on the capital and other major cities. Ukrainian authorities say an airstrike destroyed a theater. No word on casualties, but hundreds of people were sheltering in the area.
Number two, in a speech before the U.S. Congress today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pushed for more military help to halt or slow the Russian assault. He called for a NATO-enforced no-fly zone over Ukraine, or at the very least, better anti-aircraft equipment.
And number three, the White House once again resisted that call for a no-fly zone, fearing further escalation. Instead, President Biden focused on what the U.S. has done to help, including sending $800 million in new military aid. He also told reporters he believes Russia's president is responsible for war crimes.
There are National Guard members in Poland right now, including some from here in Oregon. But the military says it's part of a training mission that's been going on since before the invasion. In total, 125 members from Oregon left for Poland just after the new year. These are photos from their deployment on January 2nd. This group is part of Operation Atlantic Resolve. Active duty and reserve National Guard rotate to Poland with equipment to help train the Polish military.
They definitely are doing different missions within that training, but it's still a training exercise, and they're there to support Poland and support the unified command.
The troops who are there now will spend the next 7 months in Poland before returning to Oregon in the fall. And we have set up a special section on our website when it comes to the crisis in Ukraine. Just head to kgw.com/Ukraine. It will have the latest on what's happening with the invasion and the fundraisers that we've mentioned.
Well, let's get to a developing story in Beaverton where detectives say they found what they're calling a vehicle of interest in a deadly hit and run. A woman in a crosswalk was killed around 7 in the morning Tuesday when the driver hit her and then took off. Investigators released photos of a red SUV. They now say the driver is cooperating. Now, it's not actually clear if this is the vehicle that was involved in the crash, but meanwhile, Beaverton's mayor said the area, a part of downtown Beaverton known as the Loop, is not safe, especially for pedestrians, and is in desperate need of upgrades.
And when you look at the work that we're doing on transforming Beaverton's downtown core, we are bringing in restaurants and people and businesses and building multifamily housing. We are putting a lot of people into an area that the infrastructure has not been upgraded to accommodate.
Police have not released any details about the victim and no word on any charges.
Now to an update on a landslide on the Oregon coast. One lane of Highway 101 has reopened this evening after the slide shut the road down. This is just north of Rockaway Beach. Now, if you're headed that way, cars will be guided through that single open lane until repairs are finished. And that may be a while. It could take weeks. So expect delays in the area and watch for work crews. COVID numbers are low. Mask mandates are no more. Many Oregonians and Washingtonians are feeling a sense of relief after 2 years of a global pandemic. But are we fully out of the woods? Our Alma McCarty checked in with a local health leader. And Alma, you found out it's just too soon to tell.
Well, Laurel, there is a lot up in the air right now, but the Multnomah County Health Department is cautiously optimistic. They're keeping a close eye on how lifting the mask mandate could impact cases and how a newer stealth variant could play a role.
For some people, stealth feels like sneaky, and for other people, it feels like quiet. And I'm kind of leaning towards the second right now.
A newer COVID strain called Omicron subvariant BA2 is currently driving a rise in cases across Europe. Experts say it's more transmissible than the original Omicron strain.
We're certainly in a much safer place than we were in 2 months ago.
Teresa Everson, Deputy Health Officer for the Multnomah County Health Department, believes BA2 isn't as concerning based on what they've seen so far.
In areas where we have a lot of immunity, both from vaccination and from an Omicron surge, that they're not really seeing much of an impact from BA2.
Good news, given Oregon and Washington dropped mask mandates, letting local governments lead the way with COVID rules.
There's room for folks to kind of judge their own level of risk right now. And it's not to say that the pandemic is over.
Daily cases continue to drop. That being said, Everson points out it's a bit too soon to say what relaxing restrictions could mean.
We're not done with the pandemic, but I don't know what that's going to look like.
And when I asked whether Multnomah County could revert back,
so we don't have a specific point past which we might recommend stepping back to previous measures. We'd like to focus more on recommendations than any kind of requirement.
And she says we are in a good, safe place for at least the next couple of weeks. Her last piece of advice: don't throw away your masks. Those possible future recommendations to wear one could be extended to other situations, like if we're having a flu surge.
I feel like I have masks stashed all over the place. Thank you, Alma.